The day we broke up, my girlfriend, the best actress, ran for red lights like crazy, but still couldn't catch me before boarding. On the plane, he frantically sent me messages. I was just kidding with him. Did you have to go that far? They said you went abroad, is it true? I'm sorry. I won't give away what you gave me anymore. Please come back first, okay? I'll go get that bracelet back right now, okay? Don't treat me like this. I'll break down. Please pick up the phone. The humbleness through the screen made me feel proud and carefree time and again. For several days straight, I blocked one number, and another came. In the end I had to remove my SIM card and put in a new one. I think I won't look back anymore. On the day I set my plane ticket, it was the day of the Mushin Film Festival Awards ceremony. The rising star Jung Zimu won Best Actor for the first time. The host asked him how he felt and how he wanted to reward himself. Jung Zimu fixed his gaze on the award presenter beside him, the Best Actress Soo Kyung-yeon. I want Sister Sue's fate bracelet. Can I have it? As soon as the words were out, the whole audience was shocked. In the entertainment circle, everyone knows that Best Actress Soo Kyung-yeon has a fate bracelet she never takes off and cherishes dearly. This bracelet has been with her since her debut. Is Jung Zimu crazy? He actually wants the Best Actress's fate bracelet. The host on stage was stunned. I didn't know how to respond. Everyone was waiting for Soo Kyung-yeon to reject Jung Zimu. Unexpectedly, she let out a soft laugh. Calmly and slowly, she took the silver marriage bracelet off her wrist and put it on Jung Zimu's wrist. I sat in the audience, quietly watching this scene. No one knew that Best Actress Soo Kyung-yeon was my girlfriend of 5 years, and no one knew that I had climbed Mount Wudang, thousands of steps, kneeling and kowtowing with every step, just to beg for that marriage bracelet. Even fewer know that the lotus pattern on the bracelet was carved by my own hands. Jung Zimu on stage shook his wrist in surprise. Thank you, Sister Sue, for your guidance and encouragement. I will continue to work hard and bring more great works to the audience. Soo Kyung-yeon gave a faint smile. She turned to look at me, but the seat where I had been sitting had somehow become empty. Along the way, I vaguely heard people discussing the interaction between Soo Kyung-yeon and Jung Zimu at the award ceremony. My eyes stung. I turned and went into the restroom. I splashed cold water on my face. When I looked up at myself in the mirror again, my haggard and fleeing appearance instantly made my eyes red. I had known Soo Kyung-yeon for 7 years, been in love for 5. I had accompanied her all the way from obscurity to becoming a best actress, through exhaustion and hardship. Because it was her, I gladly endured it all. Once, when we were dating, I had seen. He calmly explained that it was a neighbor boy he had known for a long time. I believed him for the next 3 years. I willingly gave up my beloved dream of being a director. I devoted all my energy to Soo Kyung-yeon. He had no way to get good roles, so I pleaded for him again and again. The company was unwilling to waste too many resources on a newcomer, so I took on multiple roles. I was Soo Kyung-yeon's manager, his assistant, and also his photographer, but I was never myself. Occasionally, when there was really no film to shoot, Soo Kyung-yeon would nestle in my arms, and we would dream about the future together. He said, "Once I become a best actress, I'll marry you. Let's have the grandest wedding, okay?" I reached out and wrapped my arms around his waist, nodding in anticipation without any hesitation. For that moment, I gave him everything. Soo Kyung-yeon worked very hard too. 3 years later, he achieved his wish and became a best actress. But I hadn't yet received his proposal. Instead, Soo Kyung-yeon waited for him. Over the next 2 years, he repeatedly abandoned me for Jung Zimu. It wasn't like I hadn't made a scene. Soo Kyung-yeon explained, he's all alone in the country with no one to rely on. As his older sister, I need to take care of him more, and also to preserve our long-standing friendship. I raised my hand to cover my eyes, but I couldn't suppress the bitterness in my heart. Their bond was preserved. What about me then? For 2 years, Soo Kyung-yeon had been escorting Jung Zimu all the way, sending him scripts, endorsing him. I endured it. In the end, the result was that he even gave away that string of marital luck. Why did I fall in love with Soo Kyung-yeon in the first place? I thought about it. It was because of Soo Kyung-yeon and my shared plight as a fellow orphan. Or was it because of him? He threw himself in without hesitation, as if he had fallen into the water himself. There are so many people in this world sharing the same plight. Why did it have to be him and only him? The life-saving grace. Over the years, I gave up my own career for him. I gave my all to help him achieve his wishes. That should be enough to repay the debt, right? When I looked up again, my expression had returned to normal. 2 years had nearly exhausted my love. I returned to the office. Out of habit, I checked Weibo first. I clicked on the first post. It was a fan-edited video. It was the scene where Jung Zimu asked Soo Kyung-yeon for the bracelet. At the scene, Soo Kyung-yeon had his back to me. Only now did I see his expression at that time. Where is the stern, unsmiling woman? At that moment, his eyes were gentle. Gently, he put the bracelet on Jang Zimo. CP fans below were going wild. In just half a day, the likes had exceeded 3 million. The video looped automatically. When it played again the moment Sukingyan casually took off the bracelet, I suddenly remembered the time I put it on him with my own hands. The look of surprise and love in Sukingyan's eyes. I raised my hand to cover my heart. The belated pang of pain almost devoured me. The phone also felt burning hot. I tossed it onto the table. The video played over and over. Night slowly fell. Someone pushed the door open. The light was turned on. Only that sliver of light remained in the room. I raised my hand to shield my eyes. At that moment, the phone battery died and it shut down. Sukingyan's eyes filled with bullet comments as he saw me looking so exhausted. He frowned slightly. Why did you leave early? I searched around before realizing you had already left. He walked over and reached out to touch my face. I turned my head away to avoid him. My eyes were cold. Why do you look unhappy? Who made you angry? I had already thought it through clearly. It wasn't the first time I faced such an attitude from him. I forced a smile. But the smile didn't reach my eyes. Sukingyan, but the bracelet fits you perfectly. For Jang Zimo, it should be a bit big. Do you need me to take it back? I'll help you adjust it to the right size. Sukingyan explained. Today on stage, I couldn't embarrass him. Jang Zimo's just acting on a whim. In a couple of days, when he gets bored, I'll take it back. Sukingyan also knew this was a bit inappropriate. He reached out to pull me into his arms to comfort me. I dodged again. Don't touch me with hands that have touched another man. I find it dirty. Sukingyan's face darkened. What do you mean? I said straightforwardly, break up. Sukingyan rubbed his forehead. His expression was tired. I've been filming non-stop lately. I haven't even had a moment to rest. Who am I working so hard for? Today, the first chance I got, I came to see you. And you're making a fuss over a bracelet. I laughed in exasperation. You work hard for yourself. It has nothing to do with me. On what grounds do you question me? It's also a fact that you never say no. On what grounds do you question me? Sukingyan, seeing that I was still relentless, completely turned cold. Lin Shinchi, am I too lenient with you? Don't think you can act unreasonable just because I love you. From now on, all your work is suspended. Go back and calm down properly. Once you're completely calm, and know what to say, and what not to say, then come back. What did you say? I thought I misheard. Sukingyan repeated what he just said with a cold face, then added, also, the film project you're in charge of will be temporarily taken over by your assistant. My body swayed. What gives you the right? I can give up any other work. But this film project is something I negotiated myself. You have no right to take it away. Sukingyan smiled lightly, as if he had heard a ridiculous joke. You negotiated. What did you negotiate it with? Without my connections and resources. Do you think that person in charge would be that cheap? Lin Shinchi, are you overestimating yourself? I looked him up and down, as if I no longer recognized him. I rely on your resources. How can you be so heartless? You were built up by me. All your resources were fought for by me with all my might. And now you're telling me it's you relying on me. The woman's expression remained unchanged. Lin Shinchi, are you bringing up the past with me? The past you wouldn't have argued with me like this either. I stepped back, my eyes full of disbelief. Seeing my pale face, Sukingyan still felt a bit sorry for Shinchi. Stop making a scene. No one can replace your place in my heart. I found it laughable. What about Jang Zimo? What is Jang Zimo? Sukingyan's impatience, which he had just suppressed, welled up again. How many times do I have to tell you? I only see him as a younger brother. I raised my hand to cover my eyes. It took a moment to suppress the bitterness in my heart. Sukingyan, stop deceiving yourself. Ever since Jang Zimo returned from abroad, from the moment you wanted to replace me as your agent, in your heart, I am no longer irreplaceable. Jang Zimo is Jang Zimo. It has nothing to do with replacing your agent. Replacing the agent is simply because I need resources in the fashion industry. And that person happens to have them. You know I don't like to talk nonsense. But for you, I've explained over and over again and you're still not satisfied. Besides, after you stepped down as my agent, you finally had time to develop the directing and photography you've always wanted to do. Isn't that right? Is it wrong for me to fulfill your wish? I was so infuriated by his last sentence that I was rendered speechless. He fulfilled my wish. Back then, Sukingyan wanted the resources that other agents had. In his heart, he had already planned to replace me, but he didn't know how to bring it up. After I noticed, for Sukingyan's sake, so he could smoothly obtain the resources from that person, I voluntarily offered to step down. Yet in the end, it turned into him fulfilling my wish. Suddenly I don't know what I've been doing for these 5 years. Sukingyan had never seen me so out of control. Eyes reddened, self-doubting yet bristling with thorns. He reached out and pinched out a bloody hole. Sukingyan doesn't like me like this. His little cat should be clean and tidy, noble and arrogant, rubbing intimately against him. Shinchi, stop messing around. You like his bracelet. Wait a couple of days, I'll get it back for you. It's this sentence that gives me a feeling of powerlessness, like punching cotton. I said so much. In Sukingyan's eyes, I'm just being difficult, and just want a bracelet. But this is clearly the straw that breaks the camel's back. Sukingyan saw I still hadn't softened my expression, inducing you to like being my agent. Wait another 2 years until things are stable, then I'll give it back to you, okay? My tongue tasted bitter. I don't want any of this, including you. I don't want either. Sukingyan, annoyed and upset by my hopeless tone. Then what do you want? To get engaged. Once my work is stable at the end of this year, we'll get engaged. Get married during the spring festival next year. I smiled bitterly. These beautiful things I once longed for day and night. Now I don't seem to want them anymore. That's what I thought. So I shook my head, no longer wanting them. Sukingyan was silent, coldly stared at me, losing patience. I raised my eyes and said word by word, I just want to break up. Sukingyan's heart tightened. Before his mind could react, his hand was already gripping my throat. Shinki, you are truly stubborn and incorrigible. I just closed my eyes, and tears fell down. It slid down and landed on Sukingyan's hand. He was scalded. Only then did he realize what he was doing. He abruptly withdrew his hand. He has known me for 7 years. We've been together for 5 years. No matter how hard or tiring it was, he never saw me cry. Sukingyan's heart skipped a beat, but only for a moment. He was certain that I loved him, and certain that I wouldn't leave him. Shinki, I've been too indulgent with you over the years. That's why you dare to bring up breaking up so casually. You're in a bad mood. You should take a break from work for now. Go back, think it through, and then come see me. After saying that like giving an order, he turned and left. I stood there, unable to snap out of it for a long time. I don't want to stay here anymore. Walked out unsteadily. Reached the end of the corridor. Gossip came from a room inside. Sister Sue has suspended all of Lin Shinxi's work. Of course, I heard it loud and clear. I've always said one should be low-key and humble. Before, he relied on Sister Sue's favor, and threw his weight around all day. Now let's see how he can show off. Someone stood up and walked out, just as our eyes met. Isn't this Sister Sue's favorite? Holding a half cup of herbal tea he was about to throw away. He splashed it right in front of me. Sorry, my hand slipped. I smashed the cup right at his feet. This person is the publicity head of Sukingyan's team. Has always been jealous of me, and held a lot of resentment toward me. He screamed, "What are you doing? Your work has been suspended. Getting kicked out of the team is only a matter of time. A stray dog still dares to act tough here." I coldly met his gaze. You want me to leave that badly? Are you planning to replace me and stand by Sukingyan's side? Then you're probably going to be disappointed. You should have seen today's trending topic. Whether I'm here or not, you don't stand a chance. That person's face flushed red. I glanced casually at the others who had come out to watch the show. The same goes for all of you. I lifted my foot and continued walking. Behind me came a voice saying I have no chance. Aren't you the same? After all these years, you've achieved nothing. A dog that gets discarded at someone's whim. What's there to be proud of? My footsteps faltered. My heart was pierced sharply. With a heavy heart, I hailed a taxi directly and returned to my place. Rongcheng Impression is the most famous wealthy district in Jingju City. But the houses here cannot be bought with just money. If anyone who knew me, saw me here, they would surely mock me. But the security guard at the gate, seeing it was me, respectfully opened the door for me and greeted me. "Young master, you're back." I nodded politely, and slowly walked toward a house in the middle. This isn't actually my residence, but the house of my sister Bai Mukin. The Bai family is the richest in the country. My parents were employees of Bai Mukin's eldest brother and his wife. After my parents passed away, I was taken into the Bai family by them. Although we're not blood related, the Bai family treated me very well. But I couldn't calmly enjoy all of this. Every member of the Bai family is capable of handling things on their own. I also want to rely on my own efforts to achieve something in my career, and be worthy of the Bai family's cultivation of me. Actually, I haven't lived here for a long time, but today I felt as if I were lost. It seemed that apart from the Bai family, I had nowhere else to go. I lay down on the sofa feeling somewhat uncomfortable. Before I knew it, I fell asleep. In a daze, it felt like someone was touching my face. I woke up with a start. First, I smelled a faint scent of women's perfume and alcohol. Only then did I notice the person sitting in front of me. Bai Mukin looked down at me with lowered eyes. Her gaze was deep and intense. I sensed that she was a bit drunk. "Sister, why are you suddenly drinking?" I stood up and wanted to help her back to her room. Bai Mukin's warm palm climbed up my face inch by inch. I was startled. I didn't dare to move at all. The next moment, I regretted it, because Bai Muking suddenly bent down and picked me up by the waist. I was forced to part my legs and straddle her face to face in her arms. This was simply killing me. Bai Muking lowered her head, her chin resting on my neck and shoulder. Her warm breath brushed against my skin like a feather, causing a tingling numbness. It was like the intimacy of lovers slowly drawing each other's body heat. At that moment, I felt like my brain was about to explode. I couldn't describe the feeling. I only felt as if my heart was about to jump out. I belatedly pushed her back. Bai Muking 40 is dissatisfied with my awareness. He supported my waist and pulled me closer into his arms. Even through our clothes, I could feel the heat radiating from him. "Don't move," his voice was low, as if he was restraining something with great effort. And so, in this bizarre state, I fell silent. The next second, my eyes widened suddenly, as I saw his face suddenly enlarged before me. My heart stopped, and domineering yet restrained or surged like a tide. My body stiffened, and I lost all ability to think, until his warm hand pressed through the hem of my clothes, directly touching my bare skin without any barrier. Only then did I realize what we were doing. When I struggled, he held me even tighter, almost as if trying to merge me into his body. In panic, I turned my head and bit his neck to the side. He winced in pain. Taking advantage of that moment, I broke free and quickly stood up. Bai Mukin frowned and reached out to touch the spot where he was bitten. He then rubbed his brow, looking a bit more sober. "I know you must have mistaken me for someone else. Are you secretly dating someone?" He talked about something. Clearly he didn't remember what he had just done. A desperate path. Naturally, he also didn't hear what I just said. "Sister, you're drunk. Go wash up and rest. I'm going back to my room too." Bai Mukin watched me, my back almost fleeing in panic. The meaning in his eyes, like the lingering snow on a mountain summit, made people daunted. He didn't drink often. Alcohol clouds the consciousness, making it hard to act at the crucial moment. Make the initial and most correct reaction. Bai Mukin detested this feeling of powerlessness. At today's cocktail party, he accidentally overheard about Su Xinyan's behavior at the awards ceremony. Bai Mukin is the current president of the Bai family. He is decisive in handling matters with ruthless tactics. He is someone no one wants to provoke. But such a trivial matter today actually made the cold-hearted president Bai repeatedly show mercy. My mind was unsettled. I hastily tidied up and lay down on the bed. Originally, my mind was full of annoyance caused by Su Qingyan's aggressive behavior. But now, only Bai Mukin's strong yet restrained image remains. I'm truly crazy. That is your sister's house, after all. My thoughts were relentless, and I held on tightly. The next day, I intended to leave before Bai Mukin woke up. I purposely got up a little earlier, but happened to run into him returning from his morning exercise. Our eyes met. I pursed my lips slightly. If I had known this would happen, I might as well have slept in. Bai Mukin looked at my tired expression, frowning slightly. He really didn't understand what Su Qingyan, a useless person, had that attracted her. Yet he also knew well that emotions are hard to control. For example, his own unspeakable secret. "Come and eat." His voice was light and gentle, like a gust of clear wind. Just such a simple expression of concern made my nose tingle. I lowered my head. I didn't dare let him see my reddened eyes. Bai Mukin placed breakfast in front of me. He was very close. I could clearly smell the faint fragrance on him. My mind would inexplicably race. Then I remembered being held in his arms last night. I even forgot my sadness. My face instantly turned bright red. "Sister, stay away from me." Bai Mukin gently touched my forehead. His gaze was tender. It was very lively. The moment his hand touched me, a thunderbolt exploded in my mind. I abruptly pushed his hand away. Last night, my sister had also gently caressed my face like that. Only her eyes then carried emotion. Bai Mukin glanced at his hand that had been slapped away. A dark look flickered in his eyes. I didn't notice. I only hesitated and asked, "Sister, do you have someone you like?" Bai Mukin's fingers trembled slightly. Then he withdrew his hand as if nothing had happened. He sat down beside me. He took a sip of porridge before speaking lightly. "Has the old man's urging to marry reached you too?" I quickly shook my head. "Not at all. But grandparents are urging you for your own good." Bai Mukin gave me a deep look. I immediately shut my mouth. "Finish eating. I'll take you to the company." I didn't want to trouble him, but thinking I had urgent matters today, I agreed. When we arrived at the company, Bai Mukin suddenly spoke. "Do you still plan to stay here?" My hand, reaching for the car door, paused. "Sister, you know everything?" He didn't answer me. I hesitated for a moment before coming, but rest assured, I definitely won't be with Su Qingyan again. I remember everything my family said. Those who are disloyal in love are absolutely unforgivable. I felt that Bai Mukin's brows and eyes had a gentler smile. "What do you like about him?" "Maybe it's because he's good-looking." "Good-looking," sensing his confusion. I immediately realized that what I said was problematic. "Compared to you, sis, It's definitely lacking. Bai Muking chuckled. You sure know how to talk. I also couldn't help but smile. I'm just telling the truth. Sis, you look even more beautiful when you smile now. If you could be a bit gentler normally. No boy can resist falling for you. I won't take up any more of your time. By the way, I also need to go to the company to talk about something. The matter of me not planning to stay in Sukinyan's team anymore. If it doesn't work out, I'll just resign directly. Bai Muking nodded. She reached out and gently patted my head. Resigning is fine too. Your two older brothers both don't want to take over the company. When you have free time, I'll teach you how to manage company affairs. My little face instantly fell. Sis, you better go now. This matter of mine hasn't even begun yet. Let the brothers handle the company for now. Although I said this out loud, deep down I knew that I was, at best, a child raised by the Bai family. The kindness of the Bai family towards me is already hard to repay in this lifetime. How dare I even hope for the Bai family's estate? You word. The company may not necessarily give you a satisfactory result. If you need, I can step in and help you resolve it. I paused for a moment. After a moment, I shook my head. Sis, don't worry. I can handle such a small matter on my own. If the company really goes too far, I promise I'll call you right away to back me up. That'll scare them to death. Bai Muking was amused by my witty remark. As soon as I arrived at the company, I overheard other departments also discussing the matter between me and Sukingyan. Lin Shinchi really fell out with Sukingyan. Of course, people from Su Yinghu's team all know that all his current work has been suspended. What is Lin Shinchi thinking? Sukingyan is young and has potential. She went from being unknown to a top actress on her own, and her future achievements will definitely be even higher. Most importantly, she also protects Lin Shinchi. If I were her, I wouldn't fall out with her. I'd even burn 3 incense sticks for her every day. Someone sneered sarcastically. I saw her get out of the luxury car today. She must have found a new sugar daddy. A pretty face pays off. She can hook any man she wants. I paused in my steps. On her own, I muttered silently. Then what about the resources I secured for Sukingyan? Behind his back, by borrowing the Bai family's influence. But I never bothered to argue about this before. Now that I plan to cut ties with him, there's no need to bring up these past matters again. I stepped around the corner and entered their view calmly. The group immediately fell silent. I glanced sideways at the girl who spoke last, a minor star from Xinjiang. A smile tugged at my lips. Your face is indeed a bit inferior to mine. After I walked past them, that girl immediately exploded. An orphan with no backing, climbing from the bottom. Just a lowly worm, yet always pretending to be aloof. Just as I entered the office, my little assistant rushed over frantically. Xiaozhe, that movie follow-up project. How could I manage it? I'll go beg Sister Sue. Please, just come back, okay? No need for that. I've already decided to leave Sukingyan's studio. The assistant realized she said the wrong thing. Quickly changed her tune. No, Xiaozhe, don't be impulsive. Will Sister Sue agree to let you go? A mocking smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. Really? Just anyone thinks Sukingyan has me under his thumb. He doesn't have the right to make decisions for me. Sukingyan appeared at the door. His expression even colder than yesterday. Didn't I tell you to go home and cool off? Is this the result of your cooling off? I furrowed my brows. Instinctively looked at his left wrist. It was empty. I've been by Sukingyan's side all along. Lovers and comrades. Such an intimate relationship. Yet since yesterday, it feels like we just met. This Sukingyan is a stranger to me. The little assistant watched the two of them at daggers drawn. Didn't dare to speak. Sukingyan shot him a glare. Get out. He looked uneasy. Xiaozhe, you go out first, I said. The door was closed. Sukingyan was stung by the unfamiliarity in my eyes. His gaze fell on my brow. I have handsome features, a natural charm in my eyes. Besides his personality that captivated me. This is also the main reason he has had a special fondness for me over the years. His tone softened. Shinki, stop making a scene. I've already explained. I only see Zemo as a younger brother. I'll be joining the crew in a few days. Just talk to me nicely. Let's just move on from this, okay? I felt extremely disgusted inside. Sukingyan, instead of focusing your energy on me, you should go build a connection with Zhang Zemo. Seeing me being so disobedient, Lin Shinchi, let me tell you, don't mention that I'm innocent with him now. Even if I weren't, you should understand that I'm in this position now. Every day I face so many temptations. Even if I occasionally step over the line, no one can replace the place you hold in my heart. Isn't that enough? I looked up in shock, not knowing how he could utter such shameless words so calmly. But this also made me realize a more serious problem. Sukingyan being able to say such things meant that his relationship with Zhang Zemo might have already become more intimate than I imagined. If you insist on making a scene like this, what good will it do you? You know how severe the hierarchy and sycophancy are in this circle. Don't you understand? If you and I fall out, how will people in the circle treat you? Without me, what capital do you have to survive? My face was filled with disbelief. I took a deep breath to suppress my emotions, but when I took out the resignation letter from my bag, my slightly trembling fingers betrayed me. If the company doesn't agree to let me leave your team, I will resign. From now on, you and I go our separate ways. On the verge of leaving, you dare to do this. He raised his hand and then put it down. Such a disobedient cat. At this moment, he even had the thought of teaching her a lesson. But in the end, he couldn't bear to. Su Qingyan, with patience, thought to coax me a few more times. Vice President Su happened to call him. After answering, he listened for a few sentences. His expression became even more unpleasant than before. The call ended. Someone knocked on the door. Teacher Su. President Su asked me to call Senior Lin Xinqi. Su Qingyan was both angry and amused by this series of events. Lin Xinqi, I didn't know you had such skills. This little thing can actually alarm the company's top management. Vice President Su was equally confused. Few people know about my relationship with Su Qingyan. The company's top management is one part, so when I submitted the transfer application, those executives originally did not intend to intervene, but no one expected that. The general manager of Yupin actually received a call from Bai Mukin, the president of Bai's group, asking them to be sure to meet all my requests. Learning that I have a relationship with such a big shot, the other departments naturally didn't want to provoke me, so they passed this matter to the least influential Vice President Su. The assistant who knocked on the door felt the atmosphere was wrong. Nervously swallowed. Senior Lin Xinqi, President Su is still waiting for you. I nodded politely. I passed by Su Qingyan and was about to leave, but my wrist was grabbed. Didn't see I. In other matters, I can indulge your willfulness. But when it comes to staying by my side, you have no choice. Come find me when you figured it out. I'll let today's matter slide. I looked at him, finding it utterly ridiculous. He cheated, yet in the end, I'm the one who has to be forgiven. I coldly pulled my arm away. Think whatever you want. There's nothing left to say between us. With that, I walked away without looking back. Su Qingyan stared at my back, a hint of gloom darkening his deep eyes. Deputy Director Su paced back and forth in his office a dozen times before figuring out how to assign me. The boss of Yupin was someone he dared not offend, let alone the president of Bai's group. But he also didn't want to keep such a hot potato around, so he planned to make me back down on my own. Having decided that, I happened to arrive as he, with his big beer belly, warmly gestured for me to sit. Everyone in the company knows you're capable, Xinqi. You've achieved a lot working with Su Qingyan over the years, and you've also endured a lot of hardship. I'm really glad to have you under my wing. I pursed my lips slightly, waiting politely for what he'd say next. How about I assign you two newcomers to manage? I frowned slightly. I've never worked as an agent. I'm afraid I'm not qualified. Don't sell yourself short. Everyone knows that Su Qingyan was essentially trained by you. He's your golden ticket. I'm sure you'll do fine. Deputy Director Su tried an encouraging approach. What I'm better at is directing and cinematography. Directing is my specialty, and photography is my hobby. They are all my passion. Although these years with Su Qingyan have been very busy, I have done much less work in this area, but it hasn't been completely abandoned, especially after I stopped being Su Qingyan's manager about 2 years ago. I participated in the filming of a few small productions, and the feedback was pretty good. Vice President Su looked at me as if he understood exactly how I felt. Well, this is quite a coincidence. I just arranged a crew for these two newcomers. Their roles aren't many, but the director is none other than the famous Niu Hong. This is a rare and great learning opportunity. I'll have someone find a position for you. How about assistant director? I wanted to say, you're too naive. He probably realized that was a bit too much, and changed his tune, saying, that might be a little tough. But being an intern is definitely no problem. What matters now is that you learn. To put it bluntly, an intern is just a gopher. You earn the least money, do the most and hardest work, and then take the worst blame, and bear the harshest scolding. But if you can use this to build some connections with Niu Dao, it's still a good thing. I was weighing the pros and cons, but Vice President Su thought I was hesitating. Then, noticing the fatigue I could barely hide on my face, Vice President Su said, don't rush to reject joining the crew. There is still some time before it starts. Let me give you half a month of paid leave to rest first. How about that? I pinched my chest. I really do need to rest, considering my current situation. I nodded and said, okay. Then I'll come back and consider it after my break. Before I could finish, he cut me off. Great. You're tentatively the agent for these two newcomers from now on. Xinqi, you are really sensible. No wonder Su Qingyan kept you for so many years. Before he finished speaking, he realized he had said something wrong. Look at this mouth of mine. Go back first and rest well for a few days. I'll wait for you to come back and create brilliance again. I took this job under duress, basically. After calm thinking, it shouldn't be too difficult. After all, when Su Qingyan first started his career, I was the one handling almost everything for him. I didn't have the title of manager, but I did more than a manager would. It wasn't until later, when it became clear that I had the right to propose to the company to give me the position of manager. This time when I walked out, I vaguely heard Vice President Su mutter, "President bye. I hope it won't be blamed on him." I didn't hear clearly and didn't pay attention. I planned to take a taxi straight home and start resting. After leaving the company building, I saw Bai Mukin's usual black Maybach. Shen Yingxu got out of the car and waved at me. "President Bai said he would take you to dinner tonight, but he had an impromptu meeting, so he asked me to pick you up first." I nodded and got into the car. Bai Muking accompanied me for dinner. The two of us got along harmoniously, as if nothing had happened that night. Of course, I was still conflicted inside. Although Bai Muking and I are not blood related, I have always regarded him as an elder in my heart. Bai Muking noticed that my mood was off. "If you're too tired, you can rest for a few days before considering work matters." I looked up, unsure of what I was thinking. My smile was a bit forced. The company gave me half a month off. I plan to visit my teacher and the construction site tomorrow. My teacher is Huang Jinken, is a world-renowned director. I am his proud protege. And Su Qingyan's first work after her debut was a supporting role in his film. The first place Su Qingyan and I met was his home. In a way, he and Shigong could be considered our matchmakers. Now that we've broken up, the two of them will surely be very disappointed, but I don't want to hide it from them either. The next day, I arrived at Huang Jinken's house early in the morning. Crossing CI, "It's been so long since you visited your teacher. Shigong talks about you and Su Qingyan every day." When Huang Jinken opened the door and saw me, the smile on his face made his wrinkles more noticeable. I respect him very much. Seeing him smile, I couldn't help but grin too. But then I pursed my lips again, as if something was on my mind. "Is Shigong in? I came today not only to visit you, but also to tell you something." Hearing this, Huang Jinken's smile faded. "It's about you and Su Qingyan, right?" I didn't expect him to guess it right away. When I came, I thought it all through. But facing my teacher and Shigong, I didn't know how to bring it up. I'm not attached to Su Qingyan. I'm just afraid to see the disappointment on their faces. Huang Jinken sighed. "Shigong saw at the film festival. Su Qingyan, giving away the fake bracelet you begged for. He's been angry about it for 2 days already. Ah, come inside and we'll talk." His sigh made me feel choked inside. That girl Su Qingyan really doesn't appreciate kindness. If you ask me, you shouldn't have stopped him. I should call him over and knock some sense into him. Let him know that marriage was Shinsi's kindness. She begged for it on her knees, step by step. Su Qingyan was trained by you. You also personally taught him the new lyrics. How could he protect that boy so much? "Shinchi, why aren't you saying anything?" Shigong didn't hear any movement for a long time. Angrily, he turned around, ready to argue with his wife again. But when he turned, he met my gaze. I quickly stood up and reached out to support him. "Shigong, I broke up with Su Qingyan." I didn't cry, but this time I couldn't help my eyes turning red. "Oh, dear child, you've been wronged." Shigong hugged me into his arms with pity, feeling my body trembling slightly from sobs. Shigong's heart ached, and he nearly shed tears. His tone was filled with both pity and anxiety. "Tell Shigong all your grievances. I'll take revenge for you. This Su Qingyan has gone too far. He doesn't cherish you like this. Shigong is so angry. If you ask me, even if you break up, I support you." Huang Jinken quickly interrupted him. The more he talked, the more off-topic he became. He sighed. "He couldn't help but comfort me, Shinchi. It's tough. Don't be too sad either. This entertainment circle is full of truth and falsehood. It's not necessarily that he doesn't cherish your friendship. The two of you haven't had an easy journey. If there's a problem, you should sit down and talk it out. How was he to you before? We all saw it with our own eyes. He was afraid it would fall if held in his hand, and afraid it would melt if held in his mouth. It's not an exaggeration." Shigong was dissatisfied with this. "How was it before?" "That was before. Besides, Shinchi is his boyfriend. These are all things he should do. What's more, over the years, how many bowls has Shinchi accompanied him through? Others may not know. But does Su Qingyan not know? You say the entertainment industry is full of truth and lies. I won't argue. But if Su Qingyan gave something else, I could accept it. But the marriage talisman is not okay. Don't you know how he got it? Back then, Su Qingyan was obsessed with becoming famous and worked desperately. As a result, he exhausted himself and fell seriously ill, unconscious. Shinchi took care of him day and night but saw no improvement. Seeking a love charm was a desperate move. It may have been useless, but it was all his heartfelt intention. Use him. Seeing him, Shigong said the last sentence with sorrow and anger. Huang Jinken remained silent. There was no refuting this. But he also knew that the two had supported each other all the way to today. It really hasn't been easy. Better to tear down 10 temples than to break up one marriage. I was pulled by Shigong to sit beside him. After crying, I felt much lighter. I shook my head, still with tears in my eyes. I already understand the truth of the matter. The reason I've come this time is to tell you that I have already asked Zukinyan for a breakup. From now on, we will have nothing to do with each other. I hope you won't be disappointed in me. Shaigong held my hand, stunned for a moment. He felt even more sympathy for me. Silly child, it's not your fault. How could we ever be disappointed in you? Then he glanced at Huang Jinken. Although he had been urging me to break up earlier, it was just something said in anger. In his heart, he still supported Huang Jinken's view. The two of them should have a good talk. These two children, they were cherished from the bottom of their hearts. For them to get married and have children had always been their wish. But hearts softened. Are you serious? Actually, the teacher's point makes sense too. You two should have a proper talk. If it really doesn't work, your teacher and I will call Zukinyan over, give him a good scolding, and then make him apologize to you. Don't act on impulse. If these arguments really drain your affection in the future, it'll be too late to regret. Shaigong thought for a moment, still offered a word of advice. I gently shook my head. I came today only after careful consideration. Breaking up is not a rash decision. I have already applied to the company to leave his team. Next, I'll start working with newcomers, then develop my interests in directing and cinematography. That should not disappoint the teacher's years of training me. Huang Jinken was stunned. He originally thought I was just acting on impulse, not expecting I had already considered it so thoroughly. Shaigong was silent for a moment, held my hand a little tighter, with a face full of concern. I know you've always had your own ideas, but you and Zukinyan have supported each other for years. In his heart, you are absolutely indispensable. He may not understand for now, but that doesn't mean he'll never get it. Are you sure you won't reconsider? I looked up, my expression resolute. Shaigong, I am not a parasite. I don't rely on a woman to live, and I don't want to waste my life waiting for an uncertain person. This is truly meaningless. But you love him so much. Are you really willing to let go? These words stirred a trace of bitterness in my heart. Since he doesn't love me, I will no longer love him. This is a palace. Perhaps the stubborn root is hard to eradicate, but little by little I can from the heart pull it out cleanly from the bottom. Shaigong looked at my determined gaze. A smile of appreciation appeared in his eyes. He had long seen that on the surface I am soft and weak, but deep down I am tough and resilient. I am like a flower blooming on a steep cliff, standing against the wind, and yielding through 100 setbacks. He and Huang Jinken could both see that my mind was made up, uncheckable. Didn't see I, if you suffer grievances again in the future, don't bear them alone. Your teacher and I, although our say in the industry is not as strong as before, we can still put in a few words. These words made my eyes redden again. The grievances accumulated over these 2 years seemed to want to pour out all at once today. Shaigong invited me to stay for dinner. He kept a cautious mind and coaxed a few words out of me. Only then did I learn that Zukinyan and Zhang Zimo actually have a childhood connection. After I left, Uncle Qin's expression instantly became calm. Huang Jinken tried to persuade, don't be angry in a hurry. There might be a misunderstanding about this. That young man on stage asked for something in front of everyone. Zukinyan also put some effort into it with him, perhaps just out of reluctance to spoil his face. He cares about his dignity. So what about Shinji? Doesn't she need consideration? If outsiders find out that this marriage was actually arranged by him, if Zukinyan, who has worn it for years without taking it off, gave it away to this childhood sweetheart, what would outsiders think of Shinji? They have history. Doesn't Shinji have that too? Don't pull that young people's logic on me. That twisted reasoning that a sudden flame can't beat a childhood friend. Oh, honey. I just can't stand Zukinyan having his head turned. You immediately find someone to investigate this now. I want to see exactly what's going on between those two. Shaigong grew angrier as he spoke. Huang Jinken didn't dare to delay. He immediately made a call to have someone look into it. Only then did he learn that Zukinyan, over the past 2 years, had been constantly paving the way and sending resources to Zhang Zimo. Shaigong's expression turned even darker. I originally thought Zukinyan was a considerate person. That's why I felt comfortable letting Shinji be with him. I never expected him to be so lacking in propriety. I think given Shinji's feelings for him, she shouldn't lose heart over just this one thing. And you? How could you not investigate these matters earlier? You've caused Shinji to suffer so much grievance. Huang Jinken felt very wronged after being scolded by her husband, but didn't dare to argue. Shaigong slammed the table hard. Call Zukinyan right now. Have him come over. Shinji may swallow this, but I can't. Huang Jinchen, afraid of making her husband angrier, didn't dare to delay. He immediately called Zukinyan. Shaigong calmed down. Since Shinji wants to develop her own career, she is familiar with filming and directing. While we still have some influence these years, let's help her as much as we can. Oh, don't worry about this. Shinji is my proud student. Back then she gave up this path for Zukinyan. The one who felt the most pain was actually me. You forgot that I even argued with you about this, accusing you of meddling. He sighed. Now, thinking about it, I also regret it. When Su Xinyan received the call, she was having dinner with Zhang Zimo. He won a big award, so he offered to treat her. Su Qingyan was already upset because I brought up breaking up. When he answered the phone and heard Zhang Zimo's coquettish voice, he agreed without thinking. Halfway through the meal, Zhang Zimo seemed a bit disappointed. Did Lin Xinqi come looking for you? He frowned, shook his head. No, it's not her. It's teacher who suddenly called me to his home. I have to go. Is it Senior Huang Jinkin? I've always thought he's amazing. Can you take me to visit him? Su Qingyan wanted to refuse, but seeing his expectant eyes, he swallowed the words of refusal. He couldn't resist pinching his fair cheek. Let's go. But when we get there, be careful with your words and actions. Teacher doesn't like people who try to curry favor. Zhang Zimo puffed up and slapped his hand away. His voice filled with anticipation. I just want to meet Senior Huang. If I could have the chance to act in a film directed by him, even if it's just a supporting role, I'm more than satisfied. Su Qingyan looked at him with tender eyes. If the master comes out of retirement, I'll work hard to help you get a role. Huang Jinkin's home is a small Western-style house. In front there is a medium-sized courtyard. The front gate is an ordinary fence gate. The two of them sat inside the room. Through the window, they could see the scene at the front gate. Seeing Su Qingyan get out of the car, Huang Jinkin couldn't help but advise her husband. You should control your temper when you speak later. These two kids, I still hope in my heart that they can have a good outcome. Be kind and soft-hearted. Let Su Qingyan apologize properly. Go advise him to have more restraint in his actions from now on. Keep distance when it's time to keep distance. Before he finished speaking, Shai Gong angrily slammed his palm on the table again. Huang Jinkin was startled. Why are you so jumpy? Didn't I tell you not to get angry first? I'm not angry. Look at who's here outside, then say whether you're angry or not. At that moment, Shai Gong gave a cold smile, called out to the aunt about to open the door, telling her not to open it for him. Shai Gong saw Su Qingyan get out of the car and hand something to Zhang Zimo. The entire process of opening the car door, Huang Jinkin only saw the two standing side by side in front of the door. Zhang Zimo slightly raised his head and talked with Su Qingyan. His expression was gentle, and looked at the woman beside him with a hint of admiration. In terms of appearance, they are a perfect match, but compared to me, they still lack a bit. Huang Jinkin pulled out his phone, searched for Zhang Zimo's name, selected a photo and compared it with the person outside. Finally concluded that it's Zhang Zimo. After he finished speaking, he frowned. We have no connection with this boy. What is he doing here? You really are getting old, and your mind is not working well. Snoring.